Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, all my loyal subscribers and channel members. Let's see, we got Arturo, Rob, Sergio, Rex, Darren, Goose, Amy, Svenborn, Ed, Frank, all the lovely channel members, Ted, and Rongamer. Good to see you. Now, in case anybody missed it, I released yesterday for channel members the top 10 tickers by options volume and notional options volume, and what I expect them on the high time frame. I'll probably update this every 2, maybe 3 weeks, maybe once a month. I don't know. The update rate, you can let me know what you desire on that. But as the list changes and there's things to update, I'll probably update it. Now, for premium channel members, those that choose the premium tier of the membership, I give you the rest of the top 50. I give you the whole top 50 stocks and stocks and tickers, ETFs that, and what the big time frame expectation was. It did take me a couple hours to get that produced and out there. I guess several hours when you consider the code it took me to write and generate the list. But anyway, that's finally out there, published, and for channel members. And if you're just a subscriber, subscribers is not the same as channel members, so you got to upgrade to a channel membership to see that extra content. But I'm going to keep providing extra value to those that choose to be channel members. So, and like Rodney, Rob, Dan, Cliff, Ivan, all of you. And that's it. Like that's what I got so far to provide extra value. It's something I don't do anywhere else. I don't just rip through a list of the biggest, bestest, most volume having stocks and just kind of riff on them. So I threw that out there for channel members. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for going deeper. If you want something different, you want some more, just let me know. So I'm trying to provide value. I can't do trade alerts. That was specifically excluded by my publisher, but other content, I'm trying to come up with other content ideas that I can throw out there for my members. And the top 50 list, that video did get pretty long. So as far as videos go, so those tickers are out there. And that video, they're published yesterday. And like I said, I'll update them every 2-3 weeks, maybe once a month. We'll see. When the list changes substantially, there's a lot of China stuff on there right now. And when there's big updates, I'll do that. So we have CPI out this morning, and here we are. Tomorrow, don't forget, we have PPI coming out tomorrow, and CPI and the jobs. So we had jobs coming a little spicy. We got jobs hitting at 258. Some jobless claims. We got CPI. Look at that. Came in a little hot. I said we might come in at 2.5. Anybody remember that? And there you go. And the We Robot event coming up tonight for Tesla, and I do plan to talk about Tesla. So that's not we do have that on the list too. That's the thumbnail was a robot for a reason. So core CPI came in 0.3, a little hot. Regular CPI came in a little hot, and then the year over year came in a little hot. I was expecting a 2.5. We got 2.4. Pretty. Hey, what's a 0.1% miss among friends? They were predicting 2.3. We got a 2.4. The market kind of knee-jerking just a little bit. Not really much, though. Not a big reaction. The bias is still up. And we'll talk about that more here in just a second. So CPI is kind of done now. PPI coming out tomorrow morning. Don't expect a big move necessarily. Now, this could surprise us. If it does get a pop, like I said, that usually 3 to 6 months for that pop to reflect in the CPI. So we'll have to keep an eye on what happens here. But the month-over-month stuff, difficult to kind of gauge on. If we get anything about 0.5 or higher, it's probably like uh-oh, and we may get that kind of reaction in the market, like a uh-oh reaction. But I mean, the regular PPI month over month just kind of drifting down, so they may take that on down, or may just hover at that 0.1% I don't have the year over year on here, so that didn't help at all. Look, they provide China year over year, but not the U.S. Then we have the consumer sentiment and inflation expectations that we get almost every week, coming out at 10 after the market opens tomorrow. So that's something to be aware and cognizant of. Now, the big thing that's not on here that happens between this Thursday and this Friday, the Tesla We Robot event happens today at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So that's 8 p.m. Mountain, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. I have to try to keep my eyes open. I'm usually starting to doze off by 10 p.m. Eastern. So we have that event coming up tonight. We'll see if they put on a good show or if Elon goes full bouncy castle and freaks the market out here. So we've got this very nice potential, almost like a breakout setup cooking on Tesla here. Now, I was talking about this the other day, how I guess I've got lots of stuff I've been talking about on Tesla. Let's just clean this chart up just a little bit and we can talk about a few things here. Just the most simple pattern that we have right now is the roadmap bounce. And, for those of you that have been around and, your channel members, you understand there's two main patterns I follow: the roadmap bounce and the measure bounce. If you're new here, there's two main patterns I follow: the measure bounce and the roadmap bounce. Now, the roadmap line right here, the yellow line, links in the description if you want to grab that, or you can go to the channel homepage, click the button over there, and watch the video. That's like my favorite indicator. This is it right here. This simple line. All right, we've moved up through it. We came back and retested it and retested it again. So the easiest, easy peasy, most simple path forward. We have made a high, we made a low, touched the roadmap line, came up, bounced again. Doesn't matter. Like, we see that sometimes it doesn't happen. Don't read too much into that one. It just provided a little bitty bounce that played out to the target right there. And this bigger bounce triggered the entry right there on that green candle that closed above that 618 level. That's the conservative entry. The conservative target is right there. 286. We are set for a pop to 286. That's the most simple, highest probability pattern set up on this chart right now. All right. That's it right there. 286. Plain, simple, not getting too complicated. Now, layering in some other stuff, things get better. Things get even better. All right. So we have made a low all the way back here in April. So if we run the fib line from that low to that high, we can ignore the roadmap line and all the things here for a second. Just ignore those for just a minute. Just clear your mind. We made this move. We were trending down very clearly trending down into this low, right? Trending down, accelerated low hard. Then we reversed and we broke above the downtrend of highs right here. So we run a fib from that level to that level. We ran out of gas and we did a retrace. That retrace held the 618. You notice the 618 keeps coming up. Like, it's an important level for me. All right. Like, I like that level a lot. So we retraced and held that right in there. You may be like, well, we didn't exactly hit it. That's okay. There's so many people, so many algorithms, so many of us that have this 618 in our minds, in our code, for the algorithms, the robots, that sometimes it gets front run. All right. Sometimes we push it past it. The algorithms are a constant battle. So I look at these fib lines as kind of fuzzy zones. All right. That's why I draw a lot of boxes. So if you're new here, keep it in mind that the line is not the line to the penny. It's more like a little box. All right. So we came down and basically hit that 618 box right there. If you imagine, it's a fuzzy zone. So at this point, we started moving up. Now this right here, this bounce, that's now the measured bounce. That's my measured bounce setup. Right? Nothing to do with the roadmap line. Just has to do with the trend, the reversal, and the retrace of the reversal, holding the 618, and then getting some continuation in the primary reversal here. So it's like a primary trend was down, primary reversal was up, secondary reversal was down, and now we resume the primary reversal. It gets a little, you're like, whoa, that's getting way complicated. All right, that's okay. It's a very simple pattern. Now, what this pattern gets us though, we have to use our 3-point fib tool. We project move 1 off of the low at the 618, and this gives us some fib line targets right here. Beautiful fib line targets. We've got 353, and that's just if Tesla's bearish off this low. That would be an echo type move where this first move up right here has an equality or an echo. I call it an echo in the market, where we do the same exact move in the market. That would put us at 353. Pretty nice. Target 350. Be conservative. Remember, fuzzy zones. Now, we get a little more excited. We could be talking 422. That still doesn't make us bullish, actually. That can still be a bearish move. We just get a little excited on the echo, and we commonly will push it out to the 1272. Now, if we flip this thing into bullish mode, which we might, we could be heading up here, 500. Let's be conservative, all right, 500. I've held that level for a long time. That's pretty spicy right there. If we get that move, pretty spicy. I'm holding shares. I'm holding leveraged shares, TSLA. Just to be clear, I do believe we're probably going to do this measured bounce. So there we go. Any guesses on time frame? Yeah, let's just, if you're trying to play options, buy twice as much as anything I say, or maybe 3 times as much. So look, there's the echo. That is already taking a little longer. So use the, this doesn't always work. So just throwing that out there. But if we use the time-based fib tool for the retrace, we get us some time-based targets. October, the end of October, possibly. 1272 extension, mid-November. The 200%, if this takes twice as long as the first move, puts us out to mid-December. All right. And possibly mid-January. All right. Now, if we're going to go rocking higher, this is probably going to get a pullback or two in between here and take a little longer. So we may see this pop up. We may see it pull back. We may see it make an extension. And it could be somewhere out here, Q1, Q2 next year. All right, that'd be entirely possible. We get a couple of these echoes just like this right there. All right, that's Tesla for you. And we'll see what happens. It's entirely possible something blows up, a car burns down, whatever, and we go like this and end up down here. It'd be pretty horrible, but hey, anything's possible. You know, Optimus may kill somebody or whatever. You never know. Like, I'm sure they have all sorts of safety protocols in place, but you know, they have their Optimus robot. They're unveiling a brand new product tonight. Elon's already tweeted about that. So something we haven't seen before. Probably a robot car, but fully autonomous robot car. We'll see what happens. No guesses from me. Kathy Wood's very bullish. Elon saying that Kathy Wood's, he kind of agrees with her. I don't know. The flip side, Jim Cramer bullish on it. That kind of scares me a little bit. That means be careful. We could do this. Just tongue-in-cheek on Jim Cramer. He usually jinxes it. So watch out for the pullback. Don't really want to see it. I really want to see this. But so that conservative, bearish target, 350. All right. Just the bearish move. Just the bearish correction off the low. Right there, 350. Anything above that's gravy. I've been holding out for 500, but we'll see. All right. I do reserve the right to unload my shares and reload at a different time. I'm a trader, after all. All right. I've got like 5 shares of a Tesla. I mean, it's not like we're not talking like hundreds of shares. I'm not a high roller here. All right. S&P. S&P. Let's zoom back down. Get back down in here. Back in the trenches. So, we did the bullish thing so far. We're just doing another consolidation in here on the path. We're probably going to go ripping on up. There was that primary target I talked about. And 3-wave move up. Primary target. We're going to probably extend it on higher. Just getting a little... This is all expected. We'll get these pullbacks and extensions all the way up through here. We're probably going higher. It's already kind of tipped the odds. We're going higher at this point. Yeah, that was another... That correction echo. The move up out of that low. Probably going to do another one of these. Right like that. Take us up to that next fib line. 58.82. This is ES. If you don't know what ES is, that's S&P 500 futures. There is a little bit of difference between ES and the cash index, but the cash index doesn't trade overnight, so we don't get all this extra fun data here. But that's my primary expectation for ES in the coming day or 5. I don't know. Could take us a few days to get there. This correction over here took way freaking longer than I expected it to. It's kind of ground. But here we are, set to rip again. In Q, the reason I'm so bullish is this chart right here. Finding resistance right where I thought we would. Look at that. Retracing, and now we can go for the extension. 20,600. Look at that. We hit, retraced. Now we can go up for the next one right there. Beautiful. Then we can take a shot at the next one up, and then we can finally take a shot at the target that we've been looking for months. 21.5. Got it on the chart. 21.5 right there is where we're heading. That's what we need to do. Then all bets are off. All right, CRWD. Let's go check that one out real quick. We're doing, getting ready for the breakout. This is a measured bounce. It's not on the log mode. It is on non-log mode. The target. I got lots of stuff drawn on here, but the target, simple target right now. Right up here, 500. Did the measure bounce on the path. The confirmation will be breaking up through this gap down right here. Do this little gap down. That is resistance. We get through it. Probably coming up here. And it may take a while. It could take all of next year to get up there. Russell. Small caps. Still trying to fill out this head and shoulders. Be careful. Watch out for that to finish up. And maybe it's off the candle bodies. I'm watching this like a hawk right here. Every day we're kind of filling this out more and more. If we come down here, we bounce, make another lower high. That's while NQ and ES make their all-time highs. If this does this, this setting up a crash scenario where we can get a big down very fast. Very fast right there. Oil. Well, talk about pushing it, baby. Like I said, a little overlap, while not ideal, that's okay. It's okay. We kind of came down very, really tested that zone. A little bit of overlap in there. Not ideal, but it doesn't make it any less likely to pop. So at this point, we have an expansion of range. Then we have kind of a continuation lower. Then we have this extra candle in here. If we break out of the top, we're going up. If we break out of the bottom, going down. That's kind of the crux of this thing right here. We've got this range set, defined by this high and this low. If we break up, we're likely going up. If we break down, likely making a lower low. Simple as that on oil right now. Anything in between goes with the big candle right here, sideways. That 72.30 area is the gotta hold area. We get below that 72.30 with a daily close. Golly, excuse me, Peach talking back to me. Anything on the daily close below 72.30, watch out for the drop. All right. Tesla full self-driving uses vision rather than LiDAR, so it's Hey. Captain J, you say self-driving cars, what could possibly go wrong? And thumbs down. Full self-driving brought me to work today. They turned it on the Cybertruck on last Monday, and I've been using it pretty much every day. I have to say, it drives better than my mom. Probably shouldn't have said that on YouTube, but it does. It drives better than my mom. And I've told a few clients that, and they're like, oh, it probably drives better than my wife then. And yeah, these are older people too. Like these, I'm just not trying to slam on ladies. My mom doesn't pay attention to the road. It drives better than my mom. And a lot better than some other people I know too. Just some people can't focus on the road, and it drives better than a lot of people. Does it make mistakes? Yes. Is it still a work in progress? Yes. So but it's getting better all the time. I mean, they pushed an update yesterday. It had learned stuff from me correcting it last week. They pushed an update yesterday, cleared that memory of those corrections, so it's learning again. It does a pretty dang good job parking in the parking lot. Like, it can self-park, and we actually have 2 cars that do full self-driving. So 2 different versions of the self-driving. And supposedly what they're releasing tonight, whole different ballgame. And Elon promises that, and there you go, Kimberly saying it does drive better than me. So anyway, it's pretty darn good. And if you haven't experienced a current like 12.5.5, 12.5.6 type version of full self-driving, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Anyway, I'm not saying that it's the end-all be-all solution yet, but it does pretty darn good. You know, think about it. Car accidents kill more people than just about anything else out there consistently. So the number one problem right now is distracted driving. This thing watches the road and updates like 10,000 times a second. So it's watching the road. Even, you know, it can make more choices and decisions than even I can. I do good to make a decision every couple seconds when I'm driving. I mean, think about it. Really think about it. Like, which mirror can you watch? Where can your eyes be at one time? All right, it's got like 8 cameras watching. Yeah, like Ray's like, it has 8 eyes. You know, it's watching like 8 cameras every, you know, like 10,000 times a second. Or, you know, it probably updates 30 or 60 times a second with the frame rate. But it's sitting there watching all those different things, making decisions, watching the GPS, watching the, you know, it's sitting there running those stacks. So It's not just drunk drivers. It's, you know, it's these things. You know how many times I look over and the person has 2 hands on their phone and nothing on the wheel? I mean, nothing on the wheel. So it's just wild. Just wild. People drive around like that. I see people watching videos, like sitting there watching videos on their phone, don't going down the interstate. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. And, you know, full self-driving, I can talk about it. I mean, I've been playing with it for a week. I've taken it on back roads where my truck literally has each tire over the one over the white line, one over the yellow line. That's how skinny the road is. And it was timid. Like, it slowed down. It was going less than the speed limit. I was like, come on, speed up. It wasn't sure. Like, and so there's little roads in Tennessee like that. And it does make an occasional mistake, and you push the button and tell Tesla what happened. So there's I mean, it depends. Do you like technology? Were you an early adopter of cell phones, or do you hate them? You just have to make your choices, you know. Yeah, full disclosure, I did get a strike yesterday for trying to push the self-driving to go faster. You know, went too fast and it struck out and wouldn't let me turn it back on for a little while. But I mean, hey, you know, it does turn itself off for people that abuse it. But it does have the ability. You can wear sunglasses and you don't have to actually keep your hands on the wheel now. You can actually sit there and it watches you. So it's, yeah. You know, we've seen a lady doing her makeup while she's driving down the highway. It's craziness. And there's all sorts of crazy stuff that happens. People just aren't focused on driving. For those that aren't and don't want to, beautiful solution. I do enjoy driving sometimes. And that's why I bought the vehicle I bought. I wanted a Corvette, and then I looked at the Cyber Beast. Has the better performance than a Corvette, better performance than has better acceleration than a current production Hellcat. For those of you know what it is, it actually can out accelerate the new McLaren they announced last weekend. So that's why I got the truck I got, and it's a fun machine, a really fun machine. And it does all sorts of crazy stuff. It's a tinkerer's dream. Like, I'm a tinkerer. And this self-driving thing, like, it's pretty dang cool. Anyway, I'm not saying that I trust it all the time. I sit there and vigilantly watch it while it's driving, and I take over probably more than the average person that uses it might. But I do correct it a lot. I'll put some pressure on it and get it. You know, I'm like, not sure you're watching everything. So but it does get drastically better. Wrongover is taking me on. Yeah, Wrongover's taking me on a few rides as we've progressed through the different versions of self-driving, and it definitely keeps getting better and better. So, you know, I was impressed. We went from our Scout Church over to a restaurant about 5 miles away. It drove us the whole way there and the whole way back. I mean, that was the first time I really was like, dang, you know, Wrongover did test. We asked him a couple times if he was actually doing anything. He was like, no, the car's doing the whole thing. So it's it's gotten better since then. That was several months ago. So anyway, oil, there you go. In the box. We'll see what happens. GC. Ugh. I did expect this to retest this box after getting down here. Now we need to break back into this box and rally up out of here. Getting a little green action after that CPI number. So, yeah. And, you know, full disclosure, I do own 2 Teslas now. We haven't really talked about that, but I did get a second one. My son's Subaru Forester was giving up the ghost, and it was going to cost more to fix the transmission. Here's inflation for you. More to get the parts and labor to fix a transmission than the car was worth. So we picked up a Model Y, and it has full self-driving. And he freaking loves that car. It's my car, but he's getting to drive it for now. I drove it the first time. I was like, oh, this is not nearly as nice as the Cybertruck. So if you've driven a Cybertruck before driving one of the other cars, you'll be surprised how much nicer the Cybertruck is than their other cars. I'm sure when they do the update for the Model Y, it'll probably be nicer. So, yeah. Jet giant. Hey, I wanted to fly go-fast jets for the Air Force. We couldn't come to an agreement on that. So, Bitcoin here. Let's just turn back on the roadmap line. I've kind of had it off for a minute. Roadmap line right there. We've kind of moved up off this low we made back here in August. Kind of retested, came up, hit the resistance of the downtrend of highs. This didn't even hit the primary target. So I do have an upward bias right now. But we did respect that downtrend of highs. We did respect the roadmap line. Came up lower high, came down, higher low. This is kind of like watermelon seed squeezing. Not my favorite pattern. I don't know if the government sells their however many billions of dollars of Bitcoin. Supposedly this move down just recently is because the Supreme Court ruled that the government can offload their Bitcoin. They haven't done it yet. Is it just FUD, or are we going to actually pop? So we'll see. We'll see. Ethereum does still look. We're filling out this head and shoulders. This is a cautionary. We may flash down here. If this finishes out right there, if we break down, this can very easily flush down to this 1900 area. If it does that, I think that may be all we're waiting on for crypto. To expect, like, that'd be a buying opportunity. I'm not saying it's like never buy the knife, all right? But there is an opportunity to buy here, have a point where you would eject. If you're going to buy aggressively, if you want to buy conservatively, wait for the dip on the way back up, buy, have a level that you want to see come back up. A 618 might be a good point, and then be ready. This could be the trigger. Like, this could be the thing that all of crypto's waiting for. One last little flush out on Ethereum. Maybe what we're waiting on right there. I'm heavy into crypto, 6 figures, sitting there waiting. Dollar, right up to the resistance at the roadmap line. Imagine that. Somebody said, like a week ago, we'd probably go test it. There it is. There it is. The next move, probably coming back down again. Probably take another couple weeks. Look at that. Look how many green days that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Strong rally. Probably going to drop it right back down. All right. Yeah, cut the ETH and lose. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I haven't been to the Loop in Vegas. I haven't ever been to Vegas, honestly. But Goose tells me it's kind of cool. All right. This one keeps respecting this dang resistance right here. If we can break out, we're going up. If we break down below, here's the first warning sign. Talked about this yesterday. We get below this uptrend of lows, first warning sign. Next, support, roadmap line. Get below that. Next warning sign, we're probably going down. This low, it's kind of like the final. If we get below that, probably going lower low than this August low right back over here. Probably going lower low. Now, the flip side, if we can break above that resistance that we've had. At this point, it made this point before we even made the low over here. Funny enough. So we've got that high right there to contend with. If we can get through it, 44,000 is the upside. Now, why is this important? Global liquidity, all right? Like when the Japanese market's tanking, our market's going to go down with it. If the Japanese market's ripping higher, our market's probably going to go along with it. So it's just kind of another indicator, another canary in the coal mine. And while this thing's grinding, we see grinding in the U.S. market. So, all right. We should want a crypto with 1 min. I don't know what you mean, Ray, but I'm just, it's not that I believe Ethereum is the crypto. I just think that there is opportunity there to make money when it turns and burns. It's just an opportunity. It's not necessarily where I'm putting my money. Tesla, as we talked about, we're doing a retrace here. Let's just draw a fib line real quick. That level to that level. We're in this zone. If today we dip right here, right to that level, hold, it could be set for a outsized pop. Man, snow. Looking for snow to come back up to the roadmap line. This is not built a reversal yet. There it is. There it is. I was waiting for that sneeze. All right. So a triple bottom, not necessarily a bottoming pattern. I did buy 1 share when we dipped over here in August. Everybody's like, why didn't you buy more? Well, look what happened. I wasn't sure we had bottomed yet. And there we are again. There we are again. Yesterday was a nice move up. I did play some options, made a nice little gain. That was based on the Apollo system, 30-minute time frame. But I'm not adding to my 1 share yet. All right, this is still not great. We have that low over here. Comes across. You can see we gap down through it. Comes across. That's resistance. This roadmap line, that's resistance. We're going to have to move up, maybe get through it, do a retrace before I'm very bullish on this. Or we're going to dip down to a much lower level, find support, and then set up a reversal like a 618 type measured bounce thing. Looking for those 2 patterns. All right. I watched some reversal patterns on smaller time frames. I have 1 share on this baby until we prove that we've got a reversal set up. Now, I've just been talking about some other things because the list isn't very long today, and there's no bonus trade because there's nothing set up. So GXO, that one retraced, just sitting here at the bottom, and then all of a sudden popping that target 59 right there for GXO. Amazon getting a nice little pop today. Probably going to announce some awesome banger numbers for their Prime Day sales they've had in the last 2 days, and this could create a pop that runs right up to the target right up here. Held that target. This was a roadmap bounce. The activation for the trade right in here. Right there where we closed above the 618. Highly likely we're coming up here to that target. And we did a little retrace. No big deal. Just took a little extra time. And after the Prime Day, we may pop all the way up there. There we go. All right. UVE. Getting a pop today, but off that drop. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. We've got, ooh, nasty. That 618 happens to be right in the middle there. So we've got that resistance right there. We've got the resistance of the roadmap line right here. So if we're going to go higher and get to 24, this has to break above this level, this daily level. Going to have to break through this gap down zone right here. And then we can get that continuation up right there, 24. It's not a trade till we're above that gap. Otherwise, we may come up here and go down again. See, the funny thing about this, now for those that you may be more astute, little more, you see this move right here and this move here, ignoring the, let me make an example here really quickly. Turn off the roadmap line for a second. You see this trend, right? Reversal trend. Think about that. Reversal trend. Then we reverse the reversal, right? Starting to sound familiar? If we hold that 618, this is why the 618 on the measured bounce becomes so interesting to me. We hold that right there. What do we have in place? The upside down measured bounce. Upside down measured bounce. So we take the 3-point tool, that point, that point, that point. You know what happens? The high probability move becomes that right there, and echo down. 14 would become the target. And we could get the extension to the 1272. So potentially a measured bounce off of that pattern right there. That's why the breaking above the 618 kind of like, we're kind of negating the measured bounce potential for the downside. So that's why, do I trade them to the downside? Not usually, but that's why that's so important to me all the time to break above that 618. MSTR, double tapping at the, so this bounce right here, this roadmap bounce, this high, this low, that move right there. We came up, bounced off the 618, bounced down, held another 618 right there, shot up, activated the entry right there, got to the target right there. But wait, you say, JT, you have a bigger arrow going up further because we've got this high over here and this low over here that didn't quite hit the roadmap line, but it was a higher high than this high and a lower low than this low. So right here, this roadmap bounce played out inside this bigger pattern. That bigger pattern, the extension for it right up here, 213, 226, and that crypto pullback may pull this one back before we rip it higher. So this was on the poppers list pre-market. Now it's on the droppers list, moving down $3. TCOM, trip.com. Yeah, I have a bigger time frame, $75 target up there. WHLR is a dumpster fire. If you're new here, reverse splits are indicative of a dumpster fire chart, especially when you get multiples in a row and the chart looks like this, way far away from the roadmap line, and then it dies down here near zero. The only reason it's not at zero is because they keep reverse splitting it. That's taking, in this case, it took 3 shares. So if you had 300 shares, they collapse it, and now you have 100 shares. You had 3 shares, you now have 1 share. That was on top of a 5-for-1. So over here, if you had 1,500 shares, then they collapsed it and you had 500 or 1,500 shares. You had 300 shares after the 5-for-1. And then they collapsed it again and your 1,500 shares now became 100 shares. Go back another one. The numbers get really big there. 24-for-1. So every 24 shares you had, now you have 1. Every 5, and after that, and there was another one back here. 10-for-1. So yeah, they've collapsed this thing a bunch of times. This was never $10,000. It was never $20,000. It's all these reverse splits that are in here. And this is probably going to go bust at some point. That's how bad they are at managing their share price. This company, this real estate investment trust, horrible at managing their share price. So be careful chasing stuff like that. This much more likely to go to another reverse split. Not negative, but we have to go to log mode. Much more likely to go to 0 than it is to go back up. This dumpster fire right there. All right. CELH, potential for that to be, oh man, look how perfect that hit. I might buy some of this. Not because I drink Celsius, I drink Monsters, but look how beautiful that hit was. Oh my goodness. Potential reversal off of this. We do have significant resistance at the roadmap line right there. Giant potential upside. Right there, 216, 377. Potential upside. How long? A long time. Let's go 2026. At least. Could be longer. Probably has some bumps and humps. I mean, look at the climb rate over here. Took that long. Yeah, it won't even tell me the day. Yeah, we're looking at well into 26. Talking about 525 bars. Yeah, 2 years at least. ASML. Coming up into the roadmap line. Resistance. Now we're looking at the droppers, things that were dropping pre-market. That one makes big numbers, but it's not moving a lot. So be careful. I still think we're going to dip one more time down in this zone. Home Depot. I told y'all, be careful. After the hurricane hits, Home Depot, Lowe's, Generac, all likely to pull back. They were at the targets before. FNGU, Edge and above. This may, if we can get through the gap, this thing may go up to this 627 area right there. TXG. Ugh, biotech. I don't like biotechs. I don't trade biotechs. It's one of the things that doesn't always work. This one, probably going down. That low, that high, right down to targets. May rally again, fill the gap, and continue down lower. SAP is the wrong one. Let's go for the US version. I wish it would just pick the US versions. SRV. Let's go look at that real quick. Oh, right there. Look at that. That was a double dip trade right there. Goose and others that are on double dips. There you go. Right to the target, baby. Might be time to think about protecting and or booking profits there. All right. SAP. Potential to retrace. Generac. Like I said, watch for the retrace. That was the target. Lows. This could extend just a little higher. That bigger picture pullback from over here has that target at 287. Of course, the 1448 probably going to be right there at right where we are. Why 1448? That is 90% of the way. You know, back to those fuzzy zones. The actual level is the 1272. All right, that's the actual target level I'm going for most of the time. But how do you define a fuzzy zone on a 1272? Let's say plus or minus 10%. All right, so minus 10%, 90% of the way, 1448. Well, that's just simple math. Like, I'm not doing all complicated statistics type math. Just simple math. 90% of the way, 1272. That'd be 280, which we're just shy of hitting. Could go as high as 280 or 297, looks like. But there you go. So watch for lows to top out right here and get a pullback. Just like Home Depot and Generac and other stuff that would be associated with hurricane repair stuff, right? If you're new here, you never heard this before, typically these things like Home Depot, Lowe's, wood suppliers and things like that, they rally into the hurricane. Then when the hurricane hits and passes, they pull back. It's just the mindset of traders, all right? This has nothing to do with the actual purchasing supplies and stuff like that. It's just the play. The play is on everybody's mind. Get in before the hurricane hits while people are, and then get out when the hurricane hits and people are buying supplies. First Solar, kind of doing this. If we break down, coming down here. If we break up, going up here. Right off the resistance. That could be a measured bounce. Those targets right there. 170, 150. Oops, 150. And if we break above this little high up here, likely to get that number up there, 322-ish. 327-ish. All right, next up, USD. Ultra semiconductors, we have the gap down to contend with. We're right there at it. If we can break through, right there at it. There's the zone. We break through. Likely we're going higher. That higher, 190. SWKS, pushing down. Just choppy. Not for me. I don't like sideways choppy. Not for me. AMAT at the roadmap line. Break above up here. That resistance. 270. We hold it and respect it. Turn down. 144. TD. Let's look at the US version, not the Canadian version. And we're right back down to the roadmap line. Now, for those that don't know, Tesla's special financing on cars that you see right now is run by TD. TD North America. So, circling back to Tesla. Anyway, this looks like we may do a retrace. Not for sure, but it looks like we might. SOXX, same as USD. This is BlackRock's semiconductor ETF. Resistance, not up as high as USD, but if we can break through that little baby gap down, sets the stage to rally up to 279. Simplify. Yeah, 279, 280 area right up there. AMT, American Tower, Real Estate Investment Trust. This is a flight to safety thing. When the market's looking a little rough, like things are looking a little uncertain, we rally. When we gain a little clarity, we pull back. So this is kind of a market fear gauge almost. What's ridiculous though, look at there's so much better stuff to go put your money into. This thing does not pay that great a rate. Dividend yield 2.97. You may be like, oh, that's banger. Think about it. Inflation is higher than that right now. The real inflation, not that CPI crap. Be careful. You can get higher rates just buying a CD. Why would you flight to safety here? You can go buy a CD. But the appreciation, I mean, look, this thing's sky high. You can easily retrace. We just did a three-wave move. This is corrective. Three-wave move. That echo right into that 100%. Continuation would be down. Be careful. If we break down below this stuff, be heading down here on AMT. It's not being wrong that costs you money. Staying wrong. Don't stay wrong. If we break down below the roadmap line, next support at that 618, break down below the 618, right there. Be careful. Be careful. It's your money. You can do what you want, but be careful. TECL. Did I ever do the disclaimer? I probably didn't. I skipped right over that. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instrument, including stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. You may lose money. Probably will lose money at some point. And if you desire personal financial advice, you want somebody to tell you what to do, please hire and consult a financial advisor that you trust. All right. And there it is. That's the disclaimer. I did that all from memory. So, all right. TECL, resistance. If we can break through, 125. LEN, probably coming back to the roadmap line. Home builders. FERG, that's in line with the home builder. That's declining highs. Watch out. Right there. Measured bounce. PayPal. Talked about this earlier in the week. Those are targets on the upside. I'm not sure that that this isn't a three-wave move. So this move up, initial move up right here, right? Retrace 618, held a measured bounce. Next move up. We're stopping, finding resistance at the 80. Continuation lower takes us down here. Potentially to 40 area. We've got to get these higher levels. Prove that we're not bearish on PayPal. Now, way over here, I predicted we were going to 40. Now, funny enough, off of this correction, we've set up the potential to go down here. So, caution. I would be very cautious if I was long PayPal. All right, bias for the day. That's what some of you are here for. Make sure you smash that like button if anything I said was helpful, beneficial, or you enjoyed the conversation here today. Let me know in the chat or in the comments down below if I'm no longer live. Blah, blah, blah. So jumping back down, 15-minute chart on S&P. We have retraced to the roadmap line. Look at that. Look at that. You see where I drew the lines? Holy guacamole. I think I might have done this a time or two. So we're looking for this to break on up and get the next leg higher. 58.80. Yeah. That'd be the next expectation right there. All right. Hope you have a good day. I'll be back live tomorrow. Not gonna go live during the robot event. I may even have to watch the replay on that one if I pass out on the couch tonight. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. We'll talk about what Tesla said and the reaction, I'm sure. We'll talk about PPI. Same bad time, same bad channel, 9:15 before the market opens.